and good morning, nerds. Thank you so much for tuning into today's session. My name is Nathan, and in an attempt to create a false sense of anxiety for Megan, I included a script that had asked her to say a joke, but now she has prepared so many jokes that it's actually impressive, and my petty reason for including that script as a desperate power grab is now dwarfed by Megan's very real skill at humor.
Oh my god. You can tell
I
I
have one
did
more
not,
script.
I have not been reading the scripts because that came to a surprise. Hi guys, I'm Megan. This week is finals week, so if I cry on the stream, just know it's in character and out of character. But thank you for joining us today.
Perfect. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know what? Emotions can roll. But speaking of emotions rolling, I don't really know what it has to do with it. But where are we? Where are we? What are we doing? What's the recap?
Yeah, so I left the lecture hall after helping the goblins and continued my way to Kyre. As I was saying, I'm not quite sure if you heard this one, Nathan, but I missed out on some amazing loot because I broke your mini game and did it my way, which,
I remember.
let's be honest,
I remember all
could be
right.
better. I helped this postman and his horse out of the trap, and he allowed me to ride with them to Kyre. We made our way to Kyre, and where I was able to be dropped off at the school where I was going to, and long story short, got the whispering stones that I needed. I met a sphinx, pretty cool, and he gave me the whispering stones. But there's always a catch here in D&D. No one will just do things out of their nature. Yeah. So I did have to promise that I would teach them how to sail. Well, like his professors. So I will eventually teach them how to sail. And he gave me a little Doctor Strange portal, and I headed back to Siannodel.
Perfect. And yes, that portal has opened up straight to the basement of the Abbasia, pretty much right onto Leith's doorstep. And are you ready? With that, are you ready to continue?
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Mm-hmm.
you step through the portal, straight into the familiar basement of the Abbasia. There is where the large kind of basement is, relatively empty except for the kind of mystic circle that surrounds, of course, Leith sitting there with a cup of coffee, or some sort of small mug and a wooden table nearby. And as the portal appears and you step through, he kind of puts his coffee down and smiles kind of in a jealous way as he sees all of the splendor of your arrival. What are you looking to do?
I'm gonna pull out the whispering stone. I'm like, Leith, I got it. I found it. And I'm gonna walk over.
Perfect. And you see him kind of the Leith's figure kind of stand up. He goes, "Well, that's fantastic news. I'm super pumped for that. But don't step into the circle. But let me come and grab the stones from you." And of course the image of this well put together, very clean, very neat man dissipates, and there in the center of the circle is a Leith who has seen better days. His clothes are moist and soaked with sweat and blood, and his face is just covered in dirt, grime, tears, and sweat. And he gets up off of his knees, his hands still kind of staying up high, where mystic kind of energy is flowing around his wrists. He walks over slowly, kind of weakly, over to the end of the circle, and kind of reaches out his hands for the whispering stones.
Why are you pausing here? Okay.
Sorry, that didn't seem ominous. I like to make sure that you have ample periods to interact with the world. I don't want to just like this happens like anytime that like you
Okay.
have to do something because you are physically giving over the stones. I want to make sure I pause. That way, I'm like getting your permission. I don't want to just be like, and you hand the like your player's autonomy is my number one, my number one um, focus here. And so anytime, I don't know if you've noticed, but I try anytime that your character has to do something, even if that's like the norm, I want to stop and just make sure that you are consenting to giving the stones over. That way I'm not like ruining your player's autonomy. It sounded
That's
more ominous
fair.
than it was, but go ahead.
Okay.
What would you like to do here?
It felt like, we just watched Sinners, but it
Yeah.
felt like, um, oh yeah, let me just come in. And then it's like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why don't you just take it? Why don't you just take them?
Yeah. No, I'm so jealous. I really want to see Sinners right now. Especially
Okay.
because, I guess there's like there's 7 movie theaters across like the United States, as far as I'm aware, and I don't know if this is correct, but as far as my research goes, there are 7 movie theaters that have like the certain resolution that like he filmed it in. The director filmed it in,
Oh,
like like that crazy. When
yeah.
the director for like Oppenheimer did like the certain camera where like only one of those movie theaters is like 10 minutes down the street, and I want to go to that one movie theater to see it in like the crystal clear whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but I haven't seen a movie theater in like years. But- and I'm not planning on seeing a movie theater anytime soon, uh, thanks to my new addition. But I'm jealous, and we'll have to talk about it sometime. But yes, so if you wish to give over the stones, you're more than welcome to right now.
All right. I gave him one stone, and yeah, I hand him over the Whispering Stone.
Perfect. And so he grabs the Whispering Stone, and you see him kind of hold it very close to his mouth because his mouth is still kind of working on this and on the silent chant over and over again that you can't quite hear outside of the circle. And he holds the stone close, and as he whispers, it kind of glows a kind of from the deep within the rock, and almost as the light begins, you see kind of glyphs and symbols begin to kind of glow on the outside like hot metal until it until it heats up to the same kind of temperature as the rest of the magic around him. And for the first time, kind of in the couple of experiences you've had with him, you see his mouth be able to kind of close, and he stops speaking. And instead, this groaning kind of happens from the stone that he's holding in his hands. And with that, a sigh kind of relief. His body's able to like relax, and you can visibly see him gain comfort with not having to kind of expel as much energy on this on the spell. And and he kind of turns around and puts the stone in the center. And as kind of once the stone is placed and he kind of is able to monitor that the spell is still happening, you see him almost kind of collapse onto his on. He kind of like collapses and sits down and begins to sigh, and you kind of just see him like breathing heavily, and he looks over to you and goes, "So how about that sandwich?"
Well, you asked for a whiskey. But well, regardless, I didn't bring anything. I did have to give up that wine I took from Emerald to Nicholas. He was kind of in dire need, but I would say let's go get you a sandwich. Let's go do that.
And he starts to nod, and he kind of is beginning to kind of like finally like flex his fingers, like kind of work out some knots in his shoulder, and goes, "Well, you see, the Whispering Stones only do so much and everything. I still can't leave the circle, but at least I can speak. I can drink some water if I could get some, and I haven't eaten in about 4 or 5 days now. I hate to send you on more errands, but the Sandstone has a delicious ham sandwich that I could really go for now. If you could just pick up a couple of those and bring those back, I'm all yours. We can talk, we can hang out, and honestly, I'm just in your debt right now. I can't thank you enough."
That is one errand I'd be more than happy to fulfill. Okay, so a ham sandwich from the Sandstone.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And
I was just
I'll
thinking
see
to
about
myself.
that whiskey.
I was just thinking to myself. I think Leith is one of the very few NPCs that you act positively towards. I was making the session, and I was like, oh, that she kind of doesn't like that guy. Oh, she kind of doesn't like that guy. But then I was like, Leith, and I think Dr. Jekka are like one of the very few NPCs that she is. I feel confident saying that she has a positive relationship with. But yes, he asked for a sandwich from the Sandstone.
Well, I was thinking about it too, like the way the relationships were developing, and Emerald can go suck on a rock. I
I was
feel
thinking
like
of him
that's how.
directly. I was like, yeah, he's not a fan of
Yeah.
Emerald.
I feel like Marlowe definitely has issues with the leader who seems to be doing nothing and has
Yeah.
brought his own personal issues onto these common folk. Um, but then Layeth, killer dude, Nicola or Nicholas?
It's
Nicola.
Nicholas.
Yeah. Oh, Nicholas. Um, no, we started off a little rocky, but I feel like, it's that bond of
Yeah.
hard times coming through. Um, Gaytriar is like that. He feels like an annoying little brother that you have to do things. Like he's
Interesting.
always doing stuff, but
Yeah.
anyway, but that's my
Yeah.
thought process going on. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna head
I like
out
it.
to
Okay.
the Sierra Stone and go
Perfect. Okay.
make my way over there.
What is your passive perception?
I
Trying to think.
love that question.
Passive perception is
Okay.
14. Excellent. Okay. No,
Yes.
I was just curious. But so you are walking through you're able to kind of leave the abbotcy up, and begin to walk through the city streets. You're familiar with where the sandstone is now at this point. You've made a couple of treks there. You're able to kind of weave in and out um, of the streets, and ultimately just the inner city of Siannodel is becoming more familiar to you, much more familiar than when you first landed here, and searched for these anchors. And it's beginning to feel, if not like home, at least familiar in a comforting sense that you know where things are. And as you're walking around the streets, you notice that there is significantly less. Less undead around. Like, I mean, when you left originally, while the streets were kind of safe-ish to traverse, there was still a level of kind of danger. Just you'd see a few zombies kind of skulking around. You kind of just would hear the commotion of screeching and skeletons and undead around the place. But there's a level of kind of not necessarily silence because um, the city's shops have somewhat opened. Like the sandstone isn't the only building still operating. There actually are some stores that have reopened. That there's still some customers walking around, and even some families that are kind of daring to brave these streets. It feels much different than when you left Siannodel originally. And as you're walking, almost while you're looking around, almost kind of out of nowhere, a horse and cart kind of pull out in front of you, almost kind of not almost toppling you over, just with the sudden kind of them appearing. And the horse stops, and the driver on the carriage kind of looks down and goes, "Marlow?"
Yes.
And he kind of opens up his little jacket pocket and pulls out a letter. He goes, "You're a hard one to find. Gatryard told me to kind of look for you, and I thought you'd left town, but before I even knew it, you were right back. So he's wanted to give you this."
Oh, okay. Did he seem like he was in a hurt?
No, he said you requested it, but whatever that means.
Oh,
And he kind of
okay. Thank you.
snapped the reins, and the horse kind of takes off and just disappears within within the small crowd again.
Oh, this is there was a meeting or something. The day
You wish to open it.
the day that arrived. Well, I left. Yeah, I'll open.
Perfect. So, within the bundle of the envelope, there's kind of a smaller card with Gatriar's handwriting, signed, of course, with the large swooping cursive G. And it says pretty much something to the effect of, "You wanted a transcript of Emerald Radicai's speech to the people. I hope this is satisfactory."
Yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Perfect. And in similar handwriting, it begins as so. "To the beautiful people of Siannodel, I believe a formal apology is in place. I am sorry for all the pain and suffering that has fallen on our streets. The dead have stolen our homes, safety, and way of life. It is my responsibility to protect my citizens, and I have failed, significantly. The man responsible for the attack on Siannodel is someone I know personally. My own brother has led a crusade against the city, the city I love and adore. The situation between my kin and I should have been resolved through discourse and discussion. This wanton revenge was uncalled for, and it was my fault that my family drama spilled into the lives into your lives. I promise you, to the people that still choose to believe in me and the systems we have in place, that I will end this. The moment I know my people are safe, I will divest every resource at my disposal to take the fight to the evil necromancer and remove the core of this blight. I ask for your continued support and loyalty to our people and our society. The moment that my brother is captured and punished for his crimes, I will step down from office. To every survivor that can hear my voice, I will do everything in my power to help you. Supplies and assistance are coming.
Hmm.
And that's the end of the message.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna roll it up. Stick it in my bag.
Perfect. And you continue through the streets until you eventually go to the familiar place of the sandstone. As you walk up, kind of on that wooden porch, sadly, you're able to see kind of a blood stain that's kind of looks like it's been kind of scrubbed out. If you remember when Tab showed up that one time,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yes.
it's still kind of a mark of events past. But you're able to walk into the sandstone and it's bustling almost as much as when you first arrived and made the sandstone in the first place. And I wrote down the name here, Patroka.
We have Patroka. That is the one name I cannot remember.
Patroka is kind of busy behind the bar, making drinks, cleaning cups, all things a regular barmaid would do.
Right. Well, I'm gonna head over to Patroka. Hey, Patroka, a quick question for you.
What can I do for you?
Hello. You know that I completely forgot his name. But that halfling, he sold these delicious pastries, and I delivered one to you. I think the first time we met. Do you know whatever happened to him?
Dang it, you're bringing up more people that I forgot the names of. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can look through my notes here. Oh man, of course I don't have his name. Yeah, I don't have his name. Pretend I know the name. But she's like, oh, the pastry chef. I believe he is in the refugee camp at the Abbasia. I haven't heard of his services being available, but he should be there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking about him since I haven't seen him around, and he kind of reminded me of home. So I was just hoping he was able to make it out okay. But I actually come. I need 2 ham sandwiches, if you will, and your finest whiskey.
She kind of nods and goes, well, I certainly can start on that process. That'll be 3 silver.
And can I make it the bottle?
Yeah. Let's see. And she kind of starts looking around. She goes, 1 gold piece, and it's all that's yours.
So I don't want to over the table. I don't want to gloat right now, but I am.
Right. How much
I seem to be rolling in it.
Oh no. How much money have I allowed you to get away with?
Well, I have 154 gold pieces, and I didn't think that was a whole lot. But then, if 2 ham sandwiches and a whole bottle of the finest whiskey is a gold piece, I feel like I'm a queen over here.
You've now issued value to how much. I have heard that 1 gold piece is equivalent to like buying a goat, and so like you could purchase like 100 and so goats. So I was thinking of that.
I might just need to make an army of goats.
show the necromancer's door and be like, look, what are you gonna do now? All
Looking for
goats
me?
headbutt.
Use them as Pokemon. Use headbutt.
Use ram. That'd be initiative order for that on all of your goats.
It would break the PC, like whatever computers we're using.
Yeah, it would. Okay, so after you give her the gold coin, she kind of goes into the back a little bit into the kitchen area, where she starts kind of preparing a ham sandwich and leaves you at the bar, with a complimentary little tankard of ale, just because you guys are friends at this point. And at this point, there is a table behind us, a little bit more like rambunctious and everything. And when you kind of turn the corner of your eye to look at it, it's three enforcers who are sitting there at the table, having a jolly good time, just relaxing, drinking some ale. And they kind of see you sitting at the bar, and they're kind of like, "Hey, oh, you over there," and kind of start calling out for your attention for you to turn around.
Yeah. Uh, uh, Speaking to me?
And one of them kind of smacks the other on the chest and goes, I told you it was her. As you're Marlow, aren't you? You're Marlow."
Yeah, yeah, I've been called that once or twice in my life.
And she's like, "No, Captain Tannic Pell just will not stop talking about you. And your little 4-day escapade with him, when the initial strike from the undead were happening. You're like a legend among some of the enforcers here, just with some of the tales of battle that we have of yours."
Well, I can't say what's true or not, but I yeah, I went to Stormwatch Tower on my own, like I have my own personal reasons, and I just happened to ran into Tannic, so I'm glad he's alive and well.
And they kind of, and one of the other ones, the group is starting to get hyped up, and people who didn't really recognize you are now kind of just excited to be there. And one of them goes, "Do you have a? Please sit down. Please sit down with us and have a drink. Have you ever been to Scumdo Tova?"
I wouldn't say I have, unless do I know this place?
Scumdo Tova is another island in the archipelago, known to be a more kind of seedier area, with a lot more, kind of a little more pirates, criminals. It's while this is of course over the table here. While Sully Keller Faerun has like a dedicated governmental structure with like appointed elected officials, Scumdo Tova is more kind of run by what are considered mining guilds. The whole kind of island is a mining island, and kind of criminal gangs stake their territory, and it's a much more kind of Wild West island. But you
Okay.
don't necessarily have any, like, you've never been there, but you've heard of it.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure whether I should be flattered or offended if you've asked I've ever been there.
And he goes, "No,
Mm.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I meant to. I just wonder if you have a chance for a drinking game, just a little something just to humor us."
um, well, I kind of have somewhere to be. I can't get too riley, but sure, why not?
Perfect.
Give a
And
little.
and you see on the table that already there are two sets of 9 kind of almost like shot glasses, kind of. And he kind of it ushers you to sit down across from him. And now, the game that he wants to play. Now, I'll kind of discuss this over the table here. The game he wants to play is called Hidden Jewel. And how it works is that each player has 9 cups, and underneath one of the cups, you place an item you are willing to wager. So this can be like gold pieces, or this can be like jewelry, or any kind of thing that fits underneath the shot glass. You will wager against the other person. They'll do the same thing. I'm pulling up my rules now
Okay.
for the game. Let's see. So after, and of course, you place the item underneath one of your 9 cups while the other player is not looking. Now and so one person will close their eyes while the other person kind of puts an item. Then you'll switch. Once the game is set up, player 1 will select a cup of the other person's set. Is it making sense so far?
Yes.
The other person will reveal their cup. If the item is underneath, they win and they get that item. If it is not, then the cup is overturned, filled with booze, and you have to drink it. And then the other
Okay.
person goes. And so then when that person goes and picks an item, either wins the game or drinks alcohol, then the round is over, and both people have an opportunity to switch 2 cups. So you can choose to switch any 2 cups. The item does not have to be underneath it. And then the game happens again, second round, and that happens for 3 rounds. If nobody wins after 3 rounds, the game is done and nobody wins. Well, hopefully you guys had a good time, and that's the victory. But does that game make sense so far?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then I have a little cheat sheet here. Hold on one second. Okay. So if you look at the screen now, I don't know. You might have to pull up Twitch to view what I'm looking at. But I have a set of two 9 circles. Two sets of 9 circles here. You'll have to kind of just this on honor system, so no cheating. But you will pick a cup to place your item underneath. But he begins to kind of set down all. This is now in the game again. He begins to set like 9 in this formation, like a 3x3 stack or 3x3 pattern in front of you and in front of him. And he kind of takes off a large golden ring off of his hand. He goes, this. I mean, I took this. I got this from some sort of jeweler or anything. Paid 10 or 15 gold for it. I'll be wagering
Oh.
this.
Okay. I'm gonna look through my bag here. See. I'm gonna.
I figured you were dripping in jewelry. I figured this would be fun for you.
I'm gonna take off my leather bracelet that has a small stone in the center. I'm gonna take it out. I'm like,
Wait, is this your patron bracelet?
it's my patron bracelet.
No way. Oh, that is cheeky. Okay, continue.
I'm gonna be like, this right here, actually, some say this gives the powers of a dragon. And you know, given my tail.
And the enforcers are kind of like, whoa, the power of a dragon, and you're kind of just like the table is just being hyped up. They're already like 3 drinks in, and they're acting like it.
Some may say that this is where I actually get my power. And
like Samson over here.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it off and I place it under a cup.
Yeah. So he's like, I'll let you go first, and he kind of covers his eyes,
Oh,
and
okay.
the other enforcers are kind of one's like double checking. Oh, don't look. And the other one is like focused on yours and kind of what's going on.
Okay. Okay.
And now,
I put
have
it
you
under.
mentally chosen a cup?
Yes.
Do not forget it. So now it is your turn to close your eyes while he slips his
okay.
his ring underneath, and you kind of hear slide of a ring under, and then the cup kind of dropping on top of it. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a mental connection with Toll. And
I thought for a second you maybe play the game how it's supposed to be. You're just gonna you cheater. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I got places to be. It seems like I'm a highly regarded soldier at this point. I can't get drunk.
That's your turn.
I'm gonna connect with Toll. I'm turning around and I'm like, hey buddy, you could get some nice loot here if you just be my eyes for a second.
Okay, all right. Where do you station him? Where do you kind of place him so he can look?
I don't want the others to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I turn, let's see. I'm hoping, so he's in my right pocket.
Yeah.
If I turn, he'll be kind of facing the left side. I'm hoping he's able to just peek out and see.
Okay, perfect. So you feel that connection kind of like static electricity kind of connect, and you're now seeing kind of almost through your pocket. And I'm guessing that Marlow is like covering her eyes or closing her eyes, but you can still see the table, and you're seeing kind of through like the bug-eyed lens of the small dragon. You're seeing the man lift up cup number 1 and slide the ring underneath and put it underneath. And he kind of begins a little begins to inspect your cups, and one of the enforcers like, hey, no cheating, come on. And he's like, okay, I did it, cups, items hidden.
All right. Okay.
All right. So
now what?
he goes, I'll let you go first. Pick a cup.
All right. I'll turn around. I'll look around. I'll put my hands over the whole thing. Try to gauge a reaction. I'll go to 2.
Yeah. And you see
And then I
kind
pick
of
up
the
one.
enforcers are kind of moving, like kind of they're having a good time with the situation. You pick up the cup number 1.
Yeah.
And of course the ring is underneath, and he's like, no way, how did you get it so fast? And kind of the other enforcers erupt in laughter as of course you just won the game outright and everything, and you didn't even give me a chance. Come on, another round.
Okay. Why not?
and and at this point, one of the enforcers kind of gets up and moves to the table and grabs another ale and kind of puts it in front of you. He's like, you know, you're real good fun, man. I hope maybe we can hang out some more. Another one on us, on the captain's dollar. And he begins to set the game up again. And you see the enforcer is kind of like looking, like digging through his pockets, almost looking for another thing of value. Like he's running out. The ring was kind of the one thing that he had. And he pulled out his coin purse and grabs 5 gold coin. He goes, I got 5 pieces here. I'll wager this. And are you gonna stick with the bracelet?
I'll throw in. Oh goodness.
You're
I'll
hustling
make,
right now. You're hustling this. You're hustling this dude for more coins.
I pull out 50 gold pieces.
50 gold pieces.
Yeah.
And he sees this. How are you gonna fit 50 gold pieces underneath a shot glass?
You're right, huh? Okay. I'm gonna take out 50. I'm like, here, I'll make it easier on you. Since I know this can't all fit in one, I'll put it in several.
Oh, dang.
And that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So you're gonna put it in several different cups, and knowing that most likely he will be going first.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And so and kind of the enforcers just have like wide eyes. And at this point, they're just like a kid in a candy shop as they're seeing all of this coin here. He goes, no, of course. I mean, you hide first. You hide first. And kind of closes his eyes. And like, even like one of the other kind of drunk enforcers covers his eyes too. Like, not really like being able to like do like a situational awareness that he's not the one playing. And then another guy is just still kind of ogling over all this coin that's now been dropped on the table here. Feel free to mentally choose a couple of cups.
Okay, so how many are we saying? Like 5 gold pieces could fit 10?
I'd say
I would say
5
maybe
gold
10.
pieces.
Okay.
Not. I'm trying to think of how. Cause I wouldn't say they're shot glasses. They're like small, like kind of like mug size, like cups and everything. I'd say you'd be able to fit like
Okay.
10 gold pieces underneath. If you kind of mound it up underneath a wooden cup, you could fit 10 gold pieces.
Okay, so I need to find 5 cups.
5
And there's
cups.
9
9
of
of
them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me know when you've made your decisions.
All right. Hey, let me write this down to keep
Yeah.
us, keep us honest. Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
You made your decisions.
Yes, and I have which one has the bracelet.
Oh, perfect. Oh, does that mean you have 6 cups filled?
There are 6 cups.
Dang. So the enforcer kind of opens his eyes and kind of it's gauging the situation. Okay. And I'll hide my 5. You know, I'll raise it. I'll raise it to 10. And he kind of digs and goes, I'll raise it to 7 and a copper piece. and he kind of puts it on the table and goes, all right, I'm ready to hide.
Okay. So I turn around. Yeah, and I'm having Toll watch.
And you see him, and Toll watches as he picks up cup 8, and puts kind of cup 8 down, picks up cup 6, and slides his small little scoop of coins underneath it, and puts it underneath cup number 6. He goes, okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You go first.
Okay, and he kind of looks and starts rubbing his hands together. He goes, I'm gonna pick solid number 9. And he kind of lifts up cup number 9.
And there, when he lifts it up, for all to see, there are 10 gold pieces.
Yes. and he celebrates. Goes, oh yes, and he kind of grabs the 10 gold pieces. And he's just kind of like bewildered by just the amount of cash that's there. He goes, I can't believe it. I did it. But then I goes, okay, your turn, I guess.
All right. Remind me. So if he gets it right, do I have to take a shot out of that shot glass?
So that's not how I put it in the rules, because typically
Okay.
the game would end at that point. And so if he successfully, I've never really planned for multiple items being underneath the cup. So in this situation, nobody drinks. It's just if somebody
Okay.
doesn't. If you would have done an empty cup, then he would have had to take a drink.
Okay, that makes sense. So if I lift up an empty cup, all right, so I turn, and I'm going to around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up 8.
Pick up 8. Oh. And so you pick up 8, and of course there's. I said it was on number 6, right? That's what I had in my brain, but I know I did a little trickery. I said 6, right?
6 was like the largest one or something? Or
No. So uh, I
oh,
just
it's
want to clarify, just for my sake here. He put everything underneath 6. Do you want to change your answer, or are you trying to like
oh
be a little like, oh,
oh.
yeah?
Um, I'll pick up 8. Yeah.
Okay. So you pick up 8. Of course, there's nothing there, and the 3 enforcers cheer as he's like, "Oh, you gotta drink, you gotta drink!" And he grabs like the ale that someone had just kind of brought over, and he pours it into the cup and kind of hands it to you for you to consume.
Can I think of something real quick?
You're trying to think of some
To
sort of
yeah.
quippy one-liner.
Slay our foes and drinking more. And I
And
bottoms up.
of course, that gets rapturous applause from the enforcers as cup number 8 now is placed up right side up now is no longer kind of in a hidden situation. And now he goes, all right, round is over. We have an option to switch 2 different cups around. And let me go back over to here. So 8 has been taken care of here. And you are now allowed to move to switch 2 cups around. Do you want to switch 2 cups around or keep things how they are?
I'm just gonna keep them how they are.
Okay. And you see him grab. He kind of looks. He begins to take a peek at his own things, and he switches around 5 and 4 here, making sure that you're able to see that he's moving 5 and 4 around.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
All right, so now it is. I guess it is his turn to look. He goes, okay. Oh, and he already looked underneath at number 9 here. He kind of looks and goes, I'm gonna pick 2, and he grabs the cup in the number 2 spot.
And when he lifts it up, he finds 10 more gold pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, you regretting having so many different spots available. You just lost the one gold coin. And at this point they're just absolutely elated with now that they're looking at 20 gold pieces just sitting in front of him, and he almost forgets to be playing. He's just too busy staring at the gold. He goes, oh, I can't believe this. Your turn, I guess. Your turn.
All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go towards 1, and then I'm gonna pick up 6.
Of course, when you pick up 6, his little pile spills out underneath it, and he immediately goes, "Oh man, I mean, I can't be too mad. I just won 20 gold off of you, but looks like you win the game." And he kind of pushes his little pile over to you, and he begins to kind of clean up the cups, and he goes, "Oh, I can't believe this. This is such a good time." And he kind of picks up his tankard and kind of pushes he used your tankard so I'm using tankard a lot. So the the cup that was given to you initially by that one enforcer, it was used to fill up the cup, and that's the cup that you drank from. He pushes the rest of the tankard over to you and grabs his own and kind of holds it up for to hit together and like a bro moment and do a little cheers. He goes, that was a good game. You're a good player.
Hey, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for allowing me to join. I
Perfect.
cheers him.
And he begins to tip it upside down, drains the entire tankard, and what do you do?
I set my tankard down.
Interesting. Why are you not gonna drink it?
I got places to be, people to see. I already took a shot. I don't know how much.
That is true.
That
is true.
Sobriety.
And you see one of the enforcers kind of like twist a sour face, goes, "Oh, come on, you're not gonna just drink with us with a couple of buddies?"
Oh, well, somebody has to. Well, okay. I'm going to try to mimic drinking in hopes
Mimic
that
drinking?
they are drunk enough they can't notice.
Do a performance check.
Oh, it's okay. Let's see. Okay, I can get down with that. Let's see if my dice can.
Yeah. Natural one.
That's a 19.
Oh, dang. So, I mean, as if you went to school for it. It just looks like you're just drinking, drinking this cup. And the enforcers kind of just stand up and cheer, like, oh, yeah. Oh, Marlow's the coolest.
I pound it
Oh, yeah.
hypothetically. And now I'm just imagining, like, if somehow, like, Toll was in it and he was just gorging himself.
Wait, so is he in the cup just drinking it up, or is that just okay? Okay,
I should have
perfect.
said he was here, but
Okay, and so they're sitting there and kind of he puts the cup down, and he looks and goes, our friend's been dying to meet you, and he kind of waves over, and there's another woman at the bar that you've now have seen. He kind of waves over, like she's been dying to meet you, dude. Come over here. At this point, I want you to make. Give me just 1 second while I pull this up.
No.
I was supposed to have all of this here.
Oh no. Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
1 second. I have to remember what check it is. I should have.
I've been having thoughts, some pretty dangerous thoughts about somebody, but didn't want to say anything.
Okay.
Oh no.
So I want you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Oh, because I'm not drunk. Okay.
It's because you didn't take a full dose.
See. Okay, let's see. Constitution saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With advantage, so I roll twice.
With advantage. Roll twice, take the higher number.
Alright, well, one was 18 and one was 19.
Yeah. You pass it just. And
so
so
21.
You feel a slight it feels almost like an allergic reaction, like your throat kind of closes up a little bit, but you're able to kind of like swallow through it. And you realize at this point that something was in the cup that was given to you. And the woman from the bar stands up and comes over and drops her hood. And she's familiar to you as she sits next to these enforcers. This is... I'm trying to think... Oh, hold on 1 second. I can just switch over to this card here because I still have the cups. How do I put this in the most dramatic way? You remember this woman, namely from a night a couple of nights ago when you were thwarting the Barracuda's drug run into the Siannodel. Her name is Harassriel. I wish it was a more dramatic name, but she sits down and she looks at you. She goes, I'm a huge fan. As you may know, I'm close friends with a handful of enforcers, and they can't stop talking about an individual that Captain Pelt holds in high esteem. Come to think of it, you look familiar. You weren't around the city wall a couple of nights ago, were you?
I run a lot of errands around. You could say that I travel a lot. Who knows? Maybe I was by the city wall.
And she kind of sits there and goes, "Oh, a good little lapdog, aren't you? Well, I have a little message for Gatriar from our big boss. Tell Gatriar that when his little friend, the Viceroy, steps down from office, he'll be all alone. And when he has no friends in high places to provide support, we'll search every backstreet until he's found and strung up from the nearest light post. Tell him to enjoy his last paycheck because his time as Siannodel's crime lord is up."
You guys were easy to beat enough. Who says I can't just take your boss right now?
And she kind of the enforcers have now, it was like a jokeful kind of high esteemed thing, but now the tone has definitely muted, and they're in on this whole situation, and they kind of snicker and chortle at kind of you saying, "Oh, I could take your big boss right now," and they kind of begin to kind of make fun of you a little bit, and she kind of sits there and just kind of sneers and like, yeah, all this talk is good game, but let's just say the Barracuda himself can't be taken down by some low-level sailor like you.
Well, I would say little JJ would say otherwise, but
You leave little JJ's name out of your mouth. But she kind of sits there and she goes, "Look, I'm just here for you. You're good at running errands. Run one more. Go ahead and tell Gatriar my little message and just make sure that he knows to watch his back."
Will do. And hopefully, I just hope you and what was his name? Jonathan Jefferson? It's Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Yeah. I was like,
Mhm.
well, I'll do that. And you just go ahead and go run along to Jefferson and hold him as if it's your last day.
And she kind of leans back and doesn't show any sort of emotion towards it. And the enforcers kind of stand up and like, "I think it's time for you to leave. Why don't you get out of here?"
They're telling
And
that to me.
yeah, they're telling that to you. And Petroka at this point comes from behind the kitchen, and she kind of is seeing that whatever's going on. She goes, "Hey, boys, I hope we're keeping it safe around here. But ma'am, I have your little order here." And she kind of passes a satchel over to you with a large kind of bottle sticking out the top, and some steam coming from the 2 sandwiches that are inside.
Oh, thanks, Petroka. All right, well, you guys have a good one. And I'm going to send Toll to gather up all that gold coin. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
and I'm
So
gonna
it's still
I'm
it's
gonna
still
leave.
on the table. Do you want them to like do it like right in front of them, or do you want to have them kind of hang back and do it at the right moment?
I'm gonna have him hang back.
Perfect. Okay. In that case, then Toll kind of jumps out of your pocket and hides underneath kind of a crevice underneath the bar, and is waiting patiently for the enforcers to drop their guard.
Can I, as I'm leaving, I want to bump into Terrestrial. And as I do it, I want to put that marble that's in my pocket into her pocket.
Hey, okay. Do a sleight of hand check.
All right. My dad say things I don't mean. That is a 19.
19. You were rolling high today. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, you're able to, as you kind of walk away, and the enforcers have now kind of like, they stood up and kind of almost barred you, kind of are standing in a line to prevent you from going to like kind of sitting back down. And really the only way for you to go now is out the front door. And Harassriel kind of steps up and joins them. And as you walk by, what does it look like? Kind of what does the flavor look like when you drop this marble in onto Harassriel?
I bump her shoulder. Let's see. I'm gonna act as if I trip, bump into her, and then slide it into her pocket.
Perfect. And as you kind of slip in front of her, she goes, and the enforcers and her kind of laugh together and make fun of your clumsiness as you leave the bar.
And then I just leave.
Excellent. So that's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. You head back over to the Avidsia, back to where Laeth is, and head down to the basement. Laeth is kind of laying on his back, just like spread out, like just like relaxing and everything. Just he has not been able to have this much comfort in a while. And as he sees you kind of enter in the basement, he quickly like and kind of stands up and kind of starts brushing off his like coat and kind of put himself as well, like kind of put together again, even though he is blood stained and soaking wet with all sorts of just bodily fluids. He kind of just says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear you enter, but I trust the journey was pleasant."
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And hey, I was able to get us the finest whiskey Petroka had.
Excellent. I can't wait to crack into it.
I'm gonna set out the sandwiches, pull the whiskey out, look at it. You by chance don't have a... You know what? I'm gonna try to break it.
Perfect. I mean, if you, are you breaking like the bottleneck off of it, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll do a strength check.
All right. Okay, I rolled you. Let's roll you. Because I assumed it was corked. Is whiskey
I'd say it's
corked? Okay.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I feel like back in the day it would have been cork. There are some now that like have like the little twist tops to them, but
Let me check. I think it's just, oh, it's straight. It's a 13.
13. So you begin to just smack the bottleneck against like something hard, and you see Leith wince as he's like something doing. Oh, no, please allow me.
Oh, oh yeah, sorry. Here you go.
And he grabs it, and you see his hand, the inside of his hand kind of warm up as he casts burning hands on the bottleneck, and ultimately, I mean, it increases the pressure within the bottle, and the cork pops off. And he kind of goes, "Simple sign." Sorry, I didn't mean to just kind of step in there, but I just didn't want any glass to get anywhere, or either of us get hurt. And you see, he kind of reaches out of the circle and grabs a real table at this point, rather than the one that he usually conjures up, and kind of moves it so half of it's within the circle and half of it is outside the circle for both of you guys to kind of sit down at. And he puts the wine down and it begins to kind of and sits down next to him. You see, like when he's kind of moving around. Anytime that his hands leave the circle almost like kind of dims and begins to like flicker, and so he's trying to keep all hands and feet within the vehicle at all times, just to make sure that the spell is going well. But it looks like obviously he can't leave the circle for that long, and but sits down and begins to kind of this kind of start small talk of like, oh well, how's the weather outside? It's been a couple of days since I've been able to see it. How's the city streets? And it's kind of just making small conversation with you.
Well, the city streets are a little bit more pleasant. Um, Not a whole lot of zombies and undead roaming around, which is a pleasant little change. Emerald had a little speech go on. So
I've heard
I'm
that
assuming
speech.
it was, yeah, I'm assuming it was a nice enough weather for him to come out. And it's not too bad. You know, it doesn't seem as bleak, but I would say people are nursing their fears in any way they can.
Nods, and he kind of I like to believe at this point you kind of dispersible sandwiches. He begins to he kind of you put a sandwich in front of him, and he begins to just like kind of he takes one bite and then realizes how hungry he is, and he starts to kind of devour the sandwich until he realizes that he's made it through halfway of your sandwich and you haven't even sat down yet. And he kind of slows down, and he it begins to kind of pace himself a little more, to act more of a gentleman. I see that you've met the headmaster. Must have been quite a surprise.
That was quite a surprise. I know my way around the seas, and I know quite a few legends of the seas come from truth. So I should have assumed the same, but I just always assumed that Sphinx were a myth and a legend and nothing that. But it was quite something to be in front of him. I actually have a little errand to do with him as well. After all this is said and done, I'm making my way back to teach the fellow professors how to sail. That should be a little fun.
And you see him kind of laugh a little bit from the gut here, and you get, oh, I'd love to see a couple of my fellow professors get out on the open water. They don't know the first thing when it comes to tying knots, but the Sphinx are a fascinating species, and I'll never get over the fact that the headmaster is one of them. Myth and legend aside, they say that a new Sphinx is born with every unique thought. The first time that you've ever thought of something that's never been thought of before, a Sphinx simply appears. It's so strange to see just a creature so infatuated with a topic that as it grows and as it learns more, it evolves into larger and larger sphinxes. I can only imagine where Celutar would have started, just as a little tiny sphinx, and eventually has gotten here. It's hard to really pinpoint on how old he is, but he's quite the amazing specimen and quite a good friend, honestly. He means well, though he typically values academics more than ethics sometimes, but he means well.
As he's talking, I'm like cutting my sandwich in half.
Yeah.
And then in quarters, and I'm like taking one piece and like pushing the others towards him. I'm like,
You're giving him more sandwich. And,
Yeah.
and at first he kind of is like, oh no no no, I can't. But as like the second little piece that kind of scoots over to him, he kind of scoops him over to his side and begins to eat the sandwiches too. Um, he goes, you're really making a name for yourself around the city of Siannodel. You've helped save so many lives, and I know you'll continue the hard work to restore peace and tranquility.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm making a bigger name than I would hope to. Um, I never thought that a small, well, not a small errand, but I definitely didn't think my own personal gains would get mixed up in all of this. But I I definitely am grateful that I can help. I just hope that this can all be finished and I can part ways. Um,
Definitely. What is your personal quest, if I might ask?
yeah. Can I make can I check, like, does he seem bec- well, I'm kind of open, but I feel like, okay, I just want to see if he's like an honest man, if I can trust him. Those freaking enforcers
Yeah.
were
I mean,
dirtbags.
do an investigation check. Yeah, just this is to read him.
The fort.
14. I mean, if I'm to lay things out, it depends on your, I guess, what are you looking for particularly? Are you looking for like something in his body language? Are you looking for context clues that might make you think that he's turned or he has alternative motives? Just what are you really looking for in this conversation?
I would say, yeah, like his body language, like, is there like a small smirk, or is there
Hmm.
or like a knowing, like a glint in his eyes, like he already knows, like sort of that sort of thing.
Yeah, ultimately, as you've been watching him, he seems genuinely vulnerable, if you will. I mean, he is a tired, exhausted, hungry man at this point, and you can even see I mean, through some of the actions that he's done, he tries to keep himself very kind of put together and neat and collected, and even that he's having a hard time. Um, Keeping up, and so even with his normal attitude and kind of way of holding himself has fallen, and this is just you're seeing who he is once the splendor of his title and position have he when he's so exhausted he can't even hold up his archmage reputation, that he is a man who is hungry and needs some rest, and so do with that as you will, but in this moment he is very vulnerable and very exhausted.
Okay. All right. Well, Leia, I, so you may have already known, I don't know. But I am a warlock. I have a patron. Unfortunately, this magic doesn't come with its stipulations. So I'm here to fulfill my pact, and I have a my journey just led me to this island, and I feel like I'm getting some more clues, and I'm on the right path. But yes, the goal is to be free from my pact, and I will do really anything um, to get out of it.
And kind of he nods between bites of the sandwich. He goes, "Ooh, a warlock. That is not an easy road to traverse, and I can't imagine the situation that would have spawned this pact here. Warlocks are patrons are hardly ever kind individuals who do things out of your best interest, and so I do apologize for any sort of stipulations that, of course, that this requires of you, and I hope that you are free from your patron as soon as possible. But that is interesting, and if I can help at all, I really appreciate it. I mean, you've been to the library, and I can provide you with more books if you need any more research, or I can ask around, of course. And he kind of sits there and goes, "Tell me, was Dita still in the library when you arrived in Caire?"
She was. She was outside of the library, studying, but she seemed rather intrigued. Well, she seemed excited to see me. She gave me this marble. Um, and I don't have it anymore. But she did give me a marble. And it seemed, I would think it's a scrying eye, but it was Arcana by nature. And when I was like investigating it, it like I don't know. It seemed to I think it was a dragon's eye when I looked into it. Um, she's interesting. I don't know what to think about her.
Me not, because that's odd, and it might be better that you don't have that piece from her anymore. I only ask because that girl seems to never leave the library. She's checked out almost every book on dragons. She hasn't returned a handful of them. Now, normally I'm not one to impede a student's journey in pursuit of knowledge, but she's sitting on a couple of one-of-a-kind editions, books that just can't be replaced, and I'm really hoping that at one point she gives them back, but I guess I don't have the heart to get those books back from her. But, you know, these are books that can't be replaced, and I'm hoping. I don't know what her intentions are, but she hangs around the city, that library, a little more than I thought it is usual.
Well, I don't know if her intentions are good, but that is me coming from a background that just innately I don't trust dragons. Um, and I don't know why she would give me a marble that seems to have come from the power of a dragon, but I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But about that spell, so what is this like is this going to help keep up like a force field to prevent Ab from entering?
It's a force field that prevents undead from entering. I have it open. I have this portal open. I have this force field surrounding the outer walls to allow our builders enough time to reinforce the walls. This force field is not a permanent solution, as it is draining on me. But I'm hoping that I can keep it up long enough that our builders can fix the walls, and we can have more mechanical means of removing the undead. But for now, it keeps the undead out. Well, I'm not completely sure if it'll keep Cab out per se, but at least the undead, it prevents more from entering.
Okay. Yeah, because Cap was able to enter the day that I left for Kyre, and he came in with a horde of undead. I mean, unfortunately, a few enforcers lost their lives, but he just wanted to talk. He definitely made his way in. I know you've been down here for a bit. Has anyone told you of any recent events? Is Emerald still here? I haven't even seen him yet.
Emerald has been cooped up, as far as I'm aware, Emerald has been cooped up in his office and is refusing to see anybody. He's different now. I don't really know what happened to him, but especially with him claiming that he'll step down from office, that's quite interesting. He's been an elected official for a very, very long time. As soon as he really reached adulthood, he's been in the public eye and in the civil pursuit. And so him stepping down is relatively interesting, especially because he has a relatively positive air about him. He's been elected multiple times from the public. The public likes him, but he is choosing to step down for some reason. But he's been in his office refusing to see anybody. I've kind of asked him to come down here, and he really only sends his scribe down here to kind of pass messages. So we'll see where that goes. And I'm hoping that once the builders are finished and I can drop this spell, I can go see him personally. I might have to beat down his door.
Yeah. I have a healing potion I'm gonna take out of my bag, and from the Easter egg hunt.
Oh yeah, from the Easter egg. And while you guys were talking about that last subject, Um, the door to the basement opens and Panic Pelt comes down the stairs, sees that you're in a conversation, and kind of is hanging back. Has kind of made himself known, but is hanging back, allowing you guys to finish the conversation. But he is now in the room. Panic Pelt.
Okay. I'm like, oh, and I'm gonna uncork it. I'm like, here you go, Leith. I don't know if this is gonna help you come back from the dead. Well, the brink of dying. But we really could use your help. And hopefully this rejuvenates you a little bit.
And he nods. He kind of takes the potion. He goes, this and the whiskey should take the edge off. And it'll let me fight a couple days longer. And you see him kind of down the drink and then kind of chase it with a little bit of the whiskey. And he kind of and you can almost see some like the wounds kind of just where his flesh has been almost like split open through stress. Some of the wounds on his body and kind of the life in his cheeks kind of return here. And he's looking better, but still is just dirty as hell.
Dirty. Okay, well. Seems like Panic's here, but if you don't have anybody to bring you any food or anything, or I will happily be your errand girl for that.
And he nods and kind of I'm extremely grateful for that. And trust me, this errand that you ran all the way to Kyre is no small feat, and I'll make sure that I am in your debt. And if you need anything, at all, let me know.
Well, I just might hold you to that, Leah. You take care, and I'm sure I'll see you around. Get up.
He nods and continues to drink the whiskey and finish off the sandwich. Now that you are like leaving, he resumes a kind of barbaric way of eating the sandwich and is very hungry. But as you kind of turn, Panic kind of stands up, and he was like sitting on the stairs, and he kind of stands and goes, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't realize that you two were communicating.
Oh, it's okay, Panic. We're just finished here, so if you need to speak to him, you're free to do it.
Actually, I was looking for you. I heard that you were back in town, and I wanted to reach out before you were off again. I know that you move around a lot, and I hope that I'm not interrupting.
We're just finished.
And he lifts up a satchel almost. It's kind of like a backpack, and he gestures it towards you. He goes, I got you something, and I just was hoping I could pass it off before I'm out of here.
Where are you headed?
Emerald is calling all soldiers. I mean, we've almost cleaned up the streets. At this point, Emerald's calling for an advance party to head towards the Stormwatch crater at this point, and I'll be on the front lines until the situation is solved.
All right. And what's this? I'm gonna.
When you open up the bag, inside is a I don't know if it is a piece of armor. I'm trying to think of what it's called though. So it's called the Dragon Guard if you're trying to add it to your inventory. It's called a Dragon Guard. It is a gold kind of embellished with kind of dragon scales chest plate that seems about your size. And if you look it up, if I'm over the table here, it gives you a +1 bonus to your AC and an advantage on saving throws against breath weapons of creatures that have the dragon type.
Oh. Okay.
And so inside is a very decorative, fancified breastplate that would fit comfortably underneath your clothes. Or over.
Underneath
I don't know where
clothes?
you wear. I don't know where you wear a breastplate. If you want to wear, if you want to wear just this sparkling gold piece of breastplate, you're more than welcome to. But it's just a breastplate that you can wear.
Is it dragon chest?
Dragon Guard.
Dragon Guard.
No space. Just Dragon Guard. And I'll help you out if you want to add it to your if you're struggling with it. But it is now yours. And he kind of he sees your kind of like inspecting it and goes, we got it from the evidence locker. I made it disappear off the paperwork, but so none of the enforcers should be looking for it.
This is some pretty hefty stuff. Huh. Kurgan must have lost it. I'm gonna add it to my equipment. I say Turgan because I guess he's a human hero.
Yeah, it does come from it does come from a pre-made campaign and so maybe he was arrested. Maybe he was taken from him.
Ooh, I am not proficient with this armor, so I am not gonna
Oh,
wear it.
what? Hold on. It did not say you're proficient with it. What is it?
Yeah, when I click on it, medium armor, it says I have a disadvantage
What?
on quite a few things.
Okay, well, he tried his hardest. He tried his best. But
It
yeah, but he's sitting there. He goes,
would have
I
been
hope you
nice.
can make it. I hope you can make good use of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, but
Definitely.
thank you so much. So,
And and he kind of sits there and goes, and at the bottom of the backpack, I threw in this is something from my collection. It's a I'm trying to remember what it's called. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's called it's a ring of the ram. I mean, it's every now and then uh, it's been helpful for me. I mean, I'm not really much of a spellcaster. It looks cool, but I've seen you cast some spells. I'm sure it'll be a little more useful to you.
Okay. Sorry, let me just. Is it the legacy one or the? Might be this.
Whatever one you can. Let me look.
Spectral Ram Head.
I would do
Wow.
the legacy one because I think the more up to date one is in the Dungeon Master's Guide that's probably gonna make you pay for. So the legacy one is the one that we'll be using.
Okay. Oh, I need to attune to it. How does one attune?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But
Okay, I'll just
I'm
add
trying
it
to
to there.
yeah, I'll pull up my. Okay, yeah, there here. I had to back into my notes here. He kind of sits there and goes, Siannodel may never be the same after all is said and done, but I hope you stick around.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I. There's people I've definitely grown attached to, and hopefully once everything is said and done, I can be on my way and finish my things I gotta do, and hopefully I can visit. And I just honestly, Tanik, I just hope everyone survives this. So,
He nods. Yeah, I really hope so too. But we'll see. But with that, I mean, I'll be leaving. I'll be preparing to leave the city soon. I don't think I'll be leaving for the next couple of days, but I will be escorting a majority of our enforcers out of the city and straight up to the walls, and so straight up to the Stormwatch crater, and we'll go from there. But it was very nice meeting you.
what's the plan when you get to the crater?
Storm. I wish I could tell you a little more, but really, if I'm being honest, Emerald has ordered an advance, but I'm just a little nervous about us leaving the city walls. I don't know how much of a fight it's going to be, and I don't know. The scary thing about these necromancers is that they can make their forces pop up from seemingly nowhere, and it's going to be.
Right.
I'm worried that I'm going to lose men even just getting up there, but I'll take it one step at a time. First things first, I gotta get my men suited up, ready for battle.
All right. Well, good luck with that, Tanik, and I'll be around. Let me know if you need any help. Who knows? Maybe I'll be joining you on the onslaught, but we'll see.
You gotta smile because that would be nice. But you've done so much, and I don't want to ask that from you.
No one. If I'm there, it's on my own regard. No one can ask me of anything. So.
And he nods and he goes, "Well, I'll get out of here then." And he says, he goes, "Oh, Emerald. I mean, not Emerald. Laeth, I'll talk to you before I leave, just about the spell here. Villagers are almost done, and we should be able to drop this spell in the next day or two." And kind of Laeth just kind of thumbs up while his mouth is completely full of sandwich, and he's just eating. And Tanik just turns and leaves the basement. So at this point, what are you looking to do?
All right. Well, I have this. So I'm thinking back to the person for the very first video session that is lost to time.
Yeah.
I want to go. I'm thinking about this guy I told this story to, who I sold a pistol. Seemed like he seemed like a leather worker
Yeah.
or an armor worker. I want to go about and see if I can find him or somebody like him.
Okay. What is the intention? Are we looking to get
The
information,
intent,
or are you trying to sell the new breastplate?
the intention is to turn this breastplate into something I can use, and so
Okay.
I could leave it there, and maybe next session we'd have a proficient armor for me to use.
Perfect. Okay. In that case, then yes. Let's think. So, I really wish that it really sucks that our first episode was like. Not only did I like not leave a lot of notes here, but like I also like don't even have the names here. And then of course we lost it to
The abyss.
the abyss. Um, I do
Maybe
think though, if this is the right place. No, that's not it. I'm trying to think of because I have a list of the 3 people you could have gone to. Now, one of the person that I think it is isn't necessarily a leather worker, but I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think if I can make it work. Because there was
the potion guy.
the potion. Yes, there was the potion guy, Waft and Rillius. That's the story at least I have. I have the Crooked Spine, which is the
Bookstone.
shop owner, and then I have listed here a street food vendor, but I might have just pulled that leather worker out of my ass in the moment, which means that I'd have no information on him whatsoever.
Oh, because I think what it was because I stripped the thugs.
The thugs of
Of
this,
their
and
stuff.
so then you were just looking for a leather worker.
so-
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, you know what? We'll make this work. We'll make this work. Okay, so if you are to find a leather worker, the only place that you really know for certain would be the Abbotsia, because that's where at least you found them to begin with. It's a place of shops, and the last time that you went into the Abbotsia, it's looking less refugee camp and more farmers market. There's still some people who are using it as I'm trying to think of as like a home, as shelter, but there are some shops that are beginning to surface again in the Abbotsia up here. So you're able to go upstairs and kind of take a look around, and you do see that there is some sort of leather worker, and he looks familiar to you in a weird sort of way, and you're able to approach him. And I'm trying to pull up this
And
here.
as I'm like walking there and like about to approach,
Mhm.
I want to double check where Toll is.
Okay.
Because I sent him on a quest to regain my 20 gold pieces from
Yes.
that
And
bastard who I thought was a good guy.
when you patch into Toll's Toll's vision, you see him who is underneath the bar. So you're able to see kind of like it's kind of like underneath the bar where stashed between a couple of like barrels and crates. He is sitting on top of like a little mound of 15 coins, like almost like a miniature Smog from The Hobbit. Just on his little treasure trove. There's a 15 gold there, and I guess 15 gold is sitting there. I was thinking about adding a finger, but I feel like I add fingers too often. He just has the 15 gold, and some of the gold pieces have blood on them. Here, there we go.
So he's just chilling.
He's just
on the bar.
relaxing on a little mound of gold, like his little tiny treasure trove. He should be able to recover 15.
All right. Well, I guess if he's okay, I'll leave him there.
That is hard because you can't just like have him teleport over, or else the gold
Right.
he'll be left. You have to go to the sandstone and pick it up again. But yes, he's chilling.
Cool. Okay. All right. I'm gonna approach. And hello? Anyone there?
And
Wait, there is somebody there. I see him. Why am I gonna say that?
you just walk up to the dude's little stand. Hello, anyone in there? He's like just like 3 feet away from you. Like, can I help you? But it is a I'd say probably half elf who is kind of rearranging a couple of like knives and kind of pieces of like leather, like kind of satchels and backpacks on the display case, with an anvil behind him and maybe some kind of a furnace that is glowing hot but seems to give no smoke or any sort of I mean, I'm trying to say he's a whole forge here, but it's not like a problem. It's not a problem because it's like an arcane forge that he's able to blacksmith there. And he kind of is moving things around and goes, "Oh, hello, welcome to my leather shop. I'm curious, can I help you with anything?"
Yeah, I actually came. I was given a breastplate, but unfortunately, it is just a little too heavy for me to use. So I was wondering if you would be able to alter it a little bit to suit me a little bit better. I'm
Kind
gonna
of looks at, goes,
pull out the
"May
dragon
I
guard.
see it?"
Yeah,
And,
here it's and I pull out the dragon guard and I show it off a little bit. I pull it out. See, it's
and
like this.
he begins to kind of inspect again. It
This.
is like a little large in the shoulders, and it's
Yeah, just
definitely built for a stockier figure. And you kind of can you put it on the table here? And as you kind of put it on the table, he begins to kind of inspect it, and he's like kind of twisting and turning it, and goes, I can't guarantee that I can get it to fit you, but I can definitely give it a shot, and of course, I won't take payment until I can potentially get this taken care of. Of course, if I do have to just let you know there is a risk here. In the process of me moving it, it might destroy the enchantment on it. It looks like it was enchanted, and while I do my best with metalwork, um, in the arcane field, I'm a little less versed. So, what I'm trying to say is, if I might destroy it in the process. Are you okay if I still take a look at it?
well, I mean, it's better. I mean, I can't use it right now. So yeah, do what you will, and if it gets destroyed in the process, well, I don't lose anything. So you
Yeah.
just yeah, go for it.
Well, in that case, then I'll take a look at it. Of course, if I'm able to get something, we can discuss payment at the end. I hope that you're a trustworthy person, but I'll take a look and I'll see if I can get it fitted.
Thank you so much. And yeah, take your time with it. I still have places to be, and I know you're probably busy with everything that's going on. Um, yeah, I'll be back. What was your name?
My name is Pidal. This is Pidal's Leatherworks.
Pidal. Okay, well, nice to meet you, Pidal. Thank you so much. Good luck. And I'm gonna leave.
Perfect. And he does take a couple of measurements from you before you leave, just so he can correctly fit the breastplate to you. And he begins to kind of get to work and leaves you be.
And all right, I did that. A couple other things I wanted to do. I got rope now, so that's pretty good.
You got all that big rope. You got like
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
very large rope.
very large rope. I where's the gauge? So I am in the Avicia.
Yes,
So I'm close to Emerald's office.
you are.
Okay, I'm gonna go see Emerald.
Okay. Let me see where my notes are. You walk into the business administrative side of the Avicia, navigate through the hallways and various rooms of the Avicia until you are in front of Emerald's office.
I'm gonna do a little knock, and then I'm gonna walk in.
Of course you do. And
That's me.
and then of course when you walk in, actually before I want to backtrack just a second ago, just a little bit. As you're walking through the I haven't seen it, but I just want to check something real quick. One moment. Okay. Yes. So you're able to knock on the door and walk into the office here. And Emerald you see him at his desk, absolutely paperwork all over the place, all over his desk, piled high. And he, as you kind of walk in, he kind of jumps a little bit at the sudden entrance, and you see him kind of almost like rub his temple, and goes, "Oh, good morning to you."
Hello, Emerald. Um, you may be asking, yes, I made it back here safely. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Um,
He goes, I
every-
trust the word has reached you about my speech. I'll push away my ego long enough to tell you that you have inspired me. Maybe I'm not fit to rule. Maybe I got into this with the wrong intentions. I truly admire the city, and it's the people deserve someone better than me at the helm.
well, it takes a small man to cause a problem, but a bigger man to fix it. So I, I can appreciate your honesty and just the courage you have to make that speech. A couple things, you know, what's the plan with Cab? I heard you're sending a group of people, Panic being one of them, and I was just curious on what the actual plan was.
And he kind of sits there, puts the pen down, and kind of like a huff, like he kind of like throws it on the table and goes, a plan? Really, the plan is to apprehend Cat. Is to find him, make him pay for his crimes, and go from there. I mean, Panic is a good man. He's a great soldier. He'll find a way. But frankly, strategy, I can't answer that question.
Okay. And second thing, so you may be familiar with the Barracudas.
Kind of goes, I'm not actually.
Okay. So apparently Gatriar, is doing his little shebang with his drug cartel. Well, the Barracudas are are I guess another group within, and I just ran across an assassin for them, and she just made it known to me. And we have our differences, and I know we've kind of gotten at each other, but I don't want to see you dead. And this assassin said that as soon as you step down, they're going to come for you and they're going to kill you. I don't want that to happen. That's not my goal. I just felt like it was my responsibility to tell you that there is a hit out for you. But I feel like once everything is said and done, we can take them out and go about our merry way.
And you see him kind of lean back and begin to rub his temple. He goes, "Oh, another thing on my table. Oh, another assassination attempt. I'll never be free of this." He kind of says, and goes, "And the Barracuda said they're after me."
Yes. Yeah. I feel like you're kind of collateral. I think they're after Gatriar, but they know to hurt Gatriar, they'll take you out.
And he kind of sits there and goes, "Oh, Gatriar is a messy individual. I'll never be free of his tangles and not." And he kind of sits there and goes, "Look, I know you've always meant well, but you have a way of facilitating mentally taxing conversations. I'm under a lot of stress as it is, and I don't need another one of your lectures or your extra bits and bobbles that come with a conversation with you. I'm doing what I can to allocate resources to Cab's capture and my resignation. And if that doesn't satisfy you, then I'm truly lost. For now on, all of my meetings are being organized by my clerk. Speak to him first before you just burst through my door again. But I just need some time to think."
Can't promise I'll go to your clerk.
Of course you do.
But I didn't mean to bring more stress this time around. I appreciate what you're doing. I can see that you care for the people. I just don't want you to be killed by the Barracudas. So you let me know if there's any way I can help. I plan at some point to take them out first, but let me know if you have any ideas about this cab thing, and hopefully we can finish this without losing more men.
And he nods and goes, "That is something we can agree on." And he begins kind of like writing and goes, I do urge you to speak to my clerk first."
We'll see. And then I'm gonna leave.
Perfect. And once you leave, a kind of a sproutly younger kind of boy kind of runs up. Well, not necessarily boy. He's a man, but he's short and he's rosy cheeked, very young in this kind of this industry. He kind of goes, "Oh, I hope that your meeting with Emerald Radikai was satisfactory. Can I jot you down for a follow up?"
Yeah. I'll let you know when I'm coming by. Um, yeah, I'll be following up at some point.
He kind of goes, the Viceroy would like prior warning. Do you have an idea of when you might come back? I can jot you down and make sure the time is open for you."
Yeah, I could give, a few second warning. If you see me at this door, just
You
know
see him
I'm
start to
going
sweat.
in.
You see the guy go, well, I mean, perhaps so we could compromise in the middle, a day,
Is,
perhaps.
and I'm good. Is he hurting you, little boy?
You go, no, but I'm afraid you might.
No, no. We're on good terms, you and I, until we're not. But thank you for the advice. I will come in, I will look to see if you're around, and then I will let you know when I'm going in. And then you can quickly go in and tell him, and we'll call it good.
You see him kind of wipe his brow and he goes, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. You see him kind of like just gulp and sit back at his desk. It's like a makeshift desk that's been like placed right outside the viceroy's door. And he kind of just sits there and kind of begins to like kind of scribble things of like, Marlow will come unannounced. Stop her quickly. And he kind of it begins to kind of do some more work around him.
As I leave, I'm gonna take out. I'm like, here, go on me, and flip a gold piece his way.
And he kind of catches it and he looks and goes, "Oh, okay." Kind of like, and it smooths him out a little bit, and he goes back to working.
Now I'm gonna leave.
Perfect.
Over the table, I feel like you just want me to make these meetings so you can plan a little so you know when I'm talking about Emerald.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so I talked to him, did that. Okay, which is closer? Is Gatria or the bar closer?
The bar would be on the way to the
Okay.
hideout.
I'm gonna head to the hideout and stop by the bar while I'm there to pick up a Scorn Little Dragon.
Perfect. So you head into the sand. You head as you're walking. You head into the sandstone. The enforcers as well as Harassriel are no longer there, and the only issue is that Cole is behind the bar, and Petroka is busy behind the bar as well. And then she sees you walking in. Oh, nice to see you back.
Oh, thanks, Petroka. I just left something of mine here, and I am here to get it back.
She goes, oh, no one turned anything into the lost and found. Are you sure you left it here?
Yeah, he just happens to be behind the counter, behind the bar. I don't know if you noticed.
And you see her kind of like nervously like flick around like, he?
Yeah, he has a bigger mark than bite. I wouldn't worry about it. He's kind of holding on to something of ours. And
And she's like completely nervous now. She's like, oh, you wouldn't happen to, is it a rat? Did you drop a rat here?
yeah, he's a little bigger than a rat. I would say between like a
And you see
hissing
as
cat.
as you're trying to like explain this, she looks underneath the counter and you see her like jump out of her skin like and shriek. She's like, "There's something underneath here. If this is yours, you better come get it."
Yeah, I think that's him. I just imagine her putting her head down and like hisses like
He like kind of like arches his back like a hissing
Yeah.
cat or anything on top of his little tiny gold mound.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what happened.
Sorry for choker. Go run over. Hey, bud. Pick her up and good job.
Scoop the coins. Scoop more money than she's probably seen at the bar for who knows how long. It's just been sitting underneath the bar there. Yeah, okay. And so now you've collected toll as well as 15 gold. and you are able to continue to the hideout.
Right. All right. Sorry, Petroka. Thanks again. Here, a gold piece for your worries, and I'll leave a gold piece on the top and head out. Because what can you not buy with money?
What can you not buy with money? Okay, so
Oh,
as you are, oh yes.
Well, side note, I didn't what's the word? I didn't reclaim anything. I just kind of left. At some point, I'm assuming the bracelet will come back onto my hand, as it always does. But
yeah, it will. And of course, at the time you least expect it or least want it, it will. It always has a way.
All right, so I'm gonna head to Gatriar.
Perfect. Just doing a little math here. 1 second. Okay. As you said your passive perception was 14. As you are walking, you realize that you have a shadow of sorts. It's just someone that you know, kind of every time you look over your shoulder, there just happens to be kind of a figure that has been following you. Or at least it just happens to kind of be where you are. And at first, like it was kind of, at first you didn't notice it. The second time, you noticed it, and it's just now it's kind of becoming more coincidental. It just happens to be kind of a cloaked figure in your area. And so as you're walking down these alleyways, especially away from the public and everything, you start to notice that there is someone trailing you, and you're nearing the hideout. What would you like to do?
I would like to cast mirror image.
Mirror image.
Okay. I want them to. I kind of want. So this is what I want to do.
Yes.
Instead of having them circle me, they mimic my actions. And they move and stuff. But I kind of want, while we're in this alleyway, I kind of want them to go different ways if possible.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're walking along kind of an alleyway, and it kind of forks off into multiple directions, and your body almost kind of just duplicates into multiple figures, and they all kind of just like walk in different directions. And is that satisfactory? Is that what you're looking to do?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go one way, and then.
Now, which way are you going? Do you want to go a false way, or are you still heading towards the hideout?
I am going to go a false. I'm headed to. I want to go to the hideout, but in a long way.
Okay, perfect.
Like.
So each of your little mirror images kind of take a different road, and you turn a corner to kind of go the long route to the hideout, and you lose track of whoever has been following you, and you kind of you're keeping like a close eye over your shoulder, and you just don't really see that person anymore. And you're led to believe that you successfully kind of shook them from your trail.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm gonna head to the hideout then.
Okay. All right, and of course, when you get to the hideout, you go the long way around, head back over to the kind of the dead end alleyway. Still looking over your shoulder, haven't been able to see anything. Knock on the door. That brick kind of comes out with the large orc that I believe I told you it was an orc, right? Yeah. The large dude that's kind of behind it. You whisper the secret phrase. The door moves, like the whole wall moves, and you're able to enter into the hideout now. And you are now with Gatriar, who at this point the warehouse has significantly less people in it. There's still a couple of bedrolls kind of around the floor and everything, but Gatriar is less kind of worrying about people touching things, but now is talking with a couple of people with clipboards, and these people have ledgers and books and everything, and he's kind of discussing business in a hushed tone around the warehouse.
I am going to walk up to him. And well, I'm gonna wait for his comment. I'm gonna make sure he sees me. I'm gonna be like, and then wait for his.
And when he sees you wave, he kind of go, "Oh, man, we'll talk about this later." And kind of his people kind of close their books, and they're wary just to make sure that you can't really see what they're looking at, and they're kind of like in defensive mode. He goes, no, she's okay. I mean, just I'll talk to you later. And they disappear. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I've been sitting next to the door waiting for your knock. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to enter back in, but I'm glad that you made it into the city anyways. I do apologize if you did try to knock and I didn't see it. I didn't hear
No,
it.
I found another way. But thank you for letting me use your tunnel. It was very helpful. Um, you kind of have another problem. You know the barracudas you had me deal with.
Yes, I do. And they have been
So,
dealt with, correct?
as we talked about, they didn't make it into the city, but they got away. And their assassin, Rashriel, she
Rash reel.
well, we kind of met at the bar, and a couple of her goons, and she's saying that they're going after Emerald. They say as soon as he steps down, they're gonna try to kill him.
Interesting. And he kind of he sees kind of the gears in his mind begin to work. He goes, and they told you that. I mean, what do these goons look like? Are they? Should we be worried about the goons or just the assassin?
I feel like they just were here to bring me a message. But as soon as Emerald, like he said, he planned to step down, they were going to. She said like their big boss was gonna take him out.
Big boss.
Or like,
He kind of sneers and he goes, I doubt the Barracudas have any sort of big boss, but we can't be too careful here. Interesting. Well, I mean, on the bright side, they hopefully don't know where at least this warehouse is. I might be able to hide Gager. I might be able to hide Emerald here for the time being. He seems very. I've spoken to him. He seems very adamant on leaving office, and so I don't know if we'll prevent that, but it will be interesting. I just don't know if they were able to blindside you at a bar, then I don't know how deep they go in here. I thought I was really the only one with ties on the inside, but they could be more intertwined in Siannodel's processes than I initially intended. They might be more of a threat than I really was giving them.
yeah, her buddies, they were dressed as enforcers, and I had no idea that they were even with the Barracudas.
And you see his eyes kind of get a little wide when he said they were dressed as enforcers.
Yeah, they just seem like old drunk enforcers. I should have put it together. Why are enforcers getting drunk? But
And
yeah.
and you see him kind of he has takes a step back, and he starts to kind of his face starts to begin like twist and everything, and he turns and he like kicks something off the floor in anger, and he swears. He goes, "They're dressed as enforcers. They could have been anywhere. They could have been in here. If the Barracudas have infiltrated the enforcements, they could already know about here. They could. This might be a bigger issue than I thought it was. It's just when I had got these enforcers to leave me alone, they could have been. I have no way of judging if they weren't in here to begin with. I should have never let them use my warehouse." He kind of sits there and goes, "But you're okay, right? Yeah, did they give you any problem?"
I'm okay. No, like just some small threats. No, I'm okay. I'm more worried about Emerald. As much as we disagree, I don't want to see the dude killed. I feel like we could take him. I think if we get, we have an archmage, as soon as this cab thing is all figured out, I think, we stand our ground, we welcome them in, and we just bust heads.
He kind of smiles and goes, your enthusiasm does mean something to me, that's for sure. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how deep it goes, and they could be. That's definitely a thought to think about. I'm gonna have to strategize for something. They could be anywhere. But I mean, at the end of the day, Emerald. It's important to protect Emerald, especially for the. If not because he's my best friend, it's because he's a symbol of Siannodel. And if he gets assassinated right when he leaves office, what is that sending? Um, that's good to know. But all right. Well,
Oh,
in that case, I hope that you get. I hope those barracudas get out of here. Those spineless animals. They don't have the guts to. They don't have the guts to do this. But we gotta plan to. We gotta plan accordingly.
yeah. And I feel like, you know, Ab is the main issue. And they said they'll strike when Emerald leaves. 'Cause they know they can't get him now. He's heavily enforced. No, I've been able to get in just fine. But,
Guard.
but I think as soon as he steps down is when we really need to worry. But I'll let Tannic know that he has some, he's the head of all the enforcers. Maybe he should know that there's some people out there within his force that are working for the Barracudas. I'll let him know, and we'll just go from there.
Definitely. And he kind of sits there and he begins to think again, and he goes, "So, I mean, what's next for you? What are you planning on doing now?"
Well, I'm gonna go talk to Tannic, and I mean, he has a lot on his plate. But and then I don't know. This whole cap thing has really thrown things through. All my whole plans through a loop. But I found you really can't plan right now. So I'm just kind of going with whatever comes and dealing with it day by day. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
guess that's really
I'll
all
be
you
here
can
for a
do.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it was nice that you let me know about all this stuff, and I'll be working to see what I can do to provide help where I can. Things are dire. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. We got this. Okay. Well, thanks, Gatriar. Good luck with everything. I'm gonna start heading out.
Perfect.
Oh,
And
also,
yeah, yes,
I turn. You wouldn't by chance have anyone tailing me, would you?
tailing you. No, I mean, I trust you. I don't feel like anyone has to tail you. Any tail wouldn't be from me. But were you tailed?
Okay. Yeah, I was able to, send them a different route. I think we're good. But yeah, just a hooded figure.
That's a
Seemed to be
classic
following me.
cliche hooded
Yeah,
figure.
just a hooded figure. Who knows?
He
But
kind
yeah,
of sits and
I'm
goes,
not too worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, just curious. Well, good luck, Gatriar. Hope to see you in better circumstances.
Definitely. And he kind of goes back to his little like paperwork and everything, and he's taking inventory of all his illicit goods, narcotics, and illegal weapons. The usual. And you leave the warehouse, and as you are walking out of the warehouse, back into the alleyway, a burning sensation. It starts as a cold sensation, but now that kind of it's like a cold heat on your wrist. The dragon bracelet is back on your wrist, and as you're walking in and looking at the bracelet, you fall to the floor, almost like you are falling into water, and you are pulled down to the depths of the ocean. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are dragged down to the surface, all the way down to the base of the water, and you are presented, of course, into a very, very familiar, painstakingly familiar area of the coffin, the stone chamber of Trident, the three chains exiting from various angles from the box there. But where you're normally met with Trident's voice, it almost sounds as if she's choking, or there's kind of just a raspy voice coming from this box, and it's not as quippy or aggressive as usual. It's this kind of weird groaning, kind of guttural noise that's being almost like yanked from her throat rather than her actually saying it. She can't get any words out of her mouth, and one of the chains that you see that kind of come from somewhere up in the top of the ocean and entering into the box, that chain kind of begins to rust almost, and you can see it as some sort of green mist or kind of this aura appears around the chain, and all of a sudden Trident's voice it now speaks true, like speaks clearly, but it has a twinge of something strange. And she says, "That's better. The connection was strong before, but now I'm able to put Trident in the back of her mind. That allows us to talk."
Hmm. What do you want,
He,
Cab?
he goes, "Oh, I've been looking for you, Marlow. You left Siannodel, and for a moment I thought you would leave everyone to fend for themselves, but luckily you came back. So eager to play the hero for a bunch of scumbags you know nothing of."
Get to it. You brought me here for a reason.
Chop. He goes, "Fine, I'll get down to business. The offer still stands. One last time. Join me, and all this poor dragon's powers become yours. I can open the floodgate to your potential. All you have to do is bow. Metaphorically speaking, of course."
What's the end goal here? Like, you seem to have an army of undead. Why do you need me?
People, I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart for you. People with power are respected. People with power are honored. You have no respect. You have no respect or honor. I'm sure my brother has already cast you aside like an old plaything now that you've helped him prop his city up again. Panic Pelt has probably dismissed you, claiming that he'll take it from here. HR is probably so eager for his way of life to continue that he continued drowning himself in blood money, alcohol, and harlots. And where does that leave you? Alone? Forgotten? Useless? Only a matter of time before the ballots forget your name too, and no one will say your name, let alone call for it.
Well, all those may be true. What have you? Okay. I don't need honor. I'm not doing this for honor. I don't need respect. Hell, I don't even care if people forget about me tomorrow. No, at the end of the day, I'm just here to break my pact so I can get home. That's all I want.
I can break your pact for you. I can give you the power to let your voice be heard. I can sever this connection, that this hold that Trident has on you. A destiny. I can give you purpose, meaning, a destiny that you create, not a laundry list from some worthless dragon. She has no bloodline. She has no worth. Her power and presence ends when her heart makes its final beat. Trident, Innovaquous, the fool of fools. She practically broke her neck from how fast she bowed when the Crimson King came knocking on her door. She lacked power and therefore became the king's first victim. I, on the other hand, have infused myself with the very device used to trap her. I have become Trident, and I can use the immense potential of her waterlogged corpse to carry out my bidding. I am strength, I'm influence, I am power. Never again will bullies stand in our way, like my brother, like Trident.
Well, and then what does that leave us with? We're just no better than Trident. We'll be no better than your big brother. Like, I despise both of them. Maybe not as much as you. I certainly despise Trident for everything she's put me through, put my family through. But I'm not here to kill somebody.
If you're looking for moral high ground, then what we're looking for is a chance to be on top. You've been bossed around your whole entire life. Your father's been bossed around your whole entire life. I'm offering you a time to be on top for once.
What's the end goal here, Cab? Nobody has a plan. Your brother has no plan to defeat you. He's just sending people. You just want power. What's the end goal here? I'm in the middle between you and your brother. I have no idea what's going on.
I want the island. I want it all. My plan is to crumble Siannodel. My plan is to resolve it to nothing, so the other cities know just my power, and they'll be able to respect me as the one true Radakai, the one leader, something big enough to even rival the Crimson King.
If I take you up on this offer, I may no longer be bound to Trident, but I will be bound to you. And I just don't want to be bound to anybody.
And there's this silence that kind of comes from the stone box, and he goes, "Well, then if you're not going to take my offer, I frankly, I'm not going to continue to grovel in front of you. I have a message for Tannic Pelt. I will take my foot off the Siannodel's throat on one condition. You deliver Emerald Radici, Tannic Pelt, and Gatria Relum to me, personally, so that I may slaughter all 4 of you like the livestock you've become. Once you 4 are slain, I will leave. You can tell Tannic Pelt that if I see a single soldier step outside the city limits, I'll deliver 3 more waves, each one bigger than the last. You did not join me, which means now you will fear me.
Okay. I'll do that.
And with that, the connection is severed. You float all the way up back to the sea, back to the surface, appearing again within the alleyway, soaking wet, of course. And the connection's been severed. You don't feel Trident's presence anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a few seconds. Minutes. And I'm gonna try to connect the Trident and go back down.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You really not often do you actually actively make the connection. Usually you're pulled down the Trident. But after a couple of minutes of silence, you activate the bracelet again, and that kind of stomach in your throat feeling as you suddenly fall into the water, down into the depths. The pressure immensely kind of pushing against your structure. You are now in front of Trident again, and the chains around Trident are all a gray metallic chains as normal. The green chain is no longer there, and you are in front of Trident, so you believe.
Ben, you there?
And you hear this kind of the voice. What are you doing here? I didn't call for you.
Do you not remember?
Remember
Cab took over. He pulled me in. He used your voice.
And
You were choking.
what are you talking about? I've
I
been
was just
enjoying the
here.
few moments of rest. Drowning for an eternity gets exhausting.
I could imagine. But listen, Trident, you pulled me down here. He was strangling you. Cab used your power. He pulled me down. I didn't realize he could do that. You don't remember.
And there's an eerie silence that follows, and John goes, "This is getting worse than I thought. I don't have any knowledge of this, and I know you wouldn't waste your breath to lie to me. He used my voice. He pulled you down.
Yeah, it was like you were choking.
This parasite has more of a hold on me than I thought."
I think we have a common enemy here, Trident. Cab, he demanded that I bring certain people and myself to him so he could slaughter us. He has a connection to you. It seems like he can use your powers, he can use your voice, see through you perhaps, because he was seeing me. You can't, there's no way you can use him.
I'm not even aware of how strong the connection is. It must be some sort of one-way passage. I mean, I can focus on potentially reversing the connection, but my fears have made manifest. Someone has been tampering with one of the anchors, and I fear that he might have connected to it or infused himself with it. At this point, I have no more pull on him than I do the inanimate anchors that trap me here. I definitely can take a. I mean, I'm not doing anything else down here. I definitely can attempt, but that connection is beyond my recognition. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, he definitely, he's trying to use me. he makes it seem as if he can destroy you and take all of your power and sever me from the pact. I don't know how much I trust him, but it certainly feels like he is able to drain you and take your power.
Well, obviously you don't believe that he'd be able to sever the pack, or else we wouldn't be talking.
I feel like it wouldn't necessarily be a sever. I feel like it'd be a transfer of power. And no longer would I be bound to you. He would just be using me. And no, we have our differences, and of course I would much rather not be bound to you. I'd rather be free of you, that's why I'm doing this. But I am no monster, and I'm not going to sever my pact through malicious ways, such as he suggested. So.
And there's a healthy silence that kind of follows that, and she goes, well, I appreciate that. You don't understand how much that means to me, that I know I haven't treated you the best, and I know that I'm brash, but I mean, it hurts down here. I drown every day, and I wish to be released. I've gone through enough, and this is just insult to injury. It seems that we do have a common enemy at this point, and frankly, there may not be a lot that I can do from my position. While I will try my best to reverse the connection and potentially help you along, I may need to provide you with more, at least, or let me do what I can from here. And you feel the water around you become a little warm, and all of a sudden kind of a stronger, like that feeling of being connected to Trident increases and strengthens. And now I have to ask you, because you rejected the last one, and she is offering to level you up. Do you wish to take the extra power?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the extra power.
Excellent. In that case, then you level up. You feel the extra energy kind of surge through your veins, and the pressure that's kind of around you feels lesser, and the kind of a piece of you is activated, and more power floods through your blood veins. Your blood veins. I don't know why that sounded weird. And she kind of sits there and goes, "This must be handled quickly. And if he is able to use my this anchor, I can only imagine what would happen if more people found these anchors that I'm bound to. We must end this as soon as possible."
You have my word. And I'm going to try to sever the connection and return to the alley.
And as you float all the way up to the surface, you step, and this one's much more pleasant. You're able to step kind of out of the water into the alleyway, still wet. I mean, yeah, that doesn't go away every time that you meet with Trident. But you are now back in the alleyway, and you are able to, you're kind of just, you're sitting in the alleyway, and all of a sudden you hear the loud kind of bugles of alarms within the city, and alarms and men running and kind of shouting and everything begin to kind of deafen the area around you, and there's lots of commotion happening on the main street that's only a couple of alleyways over. And that's where we're gonna end today's session. Woohoo! You leveled up!
I did. Was not expecting that.
No,
That was
honestly.
a nice pleasant surprise.
But now, I mean, you're gonna be able to level up. I mean, leveling up is just always so fun. Like sometimes I feel like I just create like characters on D&D Beyond just to level them up and just like play around with it. But now you get to actually do it and use these powers. So we'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about attuning to the weapon or to the ring at one point, and we'll go from there. But to anyone that is watching right now, anyone who's listening to the audio only version, because I totally skipped all of my little spiel to begin with. Thank you so much for hanging around and listening to us. Like I said, my name is Nathan, and you are able to listen to the recording of the session, or watch the recording of the session and listen to an audio-only version when these episodes are posted on Friday. But you can go to our YouTube channel or Instagram or our TikTok to watch all the little snippets or watch the other episodes and get caught up with where we're at. Because we're now on episode 12. We're really getting in there.
Oh God.
We're really, I mean, double digits. I feel like it's serious now.
For a happy dozen.
I know. In that case, then, thank you so much, and we will see you later.